Sorry about that, y'all. Excuse me, how you guys doing? This is a new show alert. This is gonna be review of Cartel. Oh damn, I forgot the name of the show now already. It's Cartel Crew. Duh. A new show on VH1. It came on after Love and Hip Hop, and basically it's sort of like a cartel version of Mob Wives, but more like the kids of. And I actually think they're getting ready to do that. The kids of the Mob Wives, because they can't do Mob Wives anymore because that whole situation sort of fizzled itself out. But I think the kids of the mob. But anyway, that's another story. So the Cartel Crew. This episode, you know how they are. It's a new show, so they lay the foundation. They're introducing us to the characters. All of the people on the show are children of people who were really big into the cartel, really big into the drug scene of the 80s and 90s, right? These are the kids. These are the people that, we know that these people had children, but, it's like whatever happened to so-and-so's son or so-and-so's daughter. The most famous person that's a part of this at this point, because later on in the season they may introduce new characters, is Grizel Blanco's youngest son, Michael. If you don't know who Grizel Blanco is, do your research, Google it. But she was like the queen pin. She was just like, anyway. But her youngest son is on here, and he said, basically from the age of 12, he was involved in the drug trade. His mom went to jail, his brothers were in jail. He picked up the mantle. He was running the organization, and but he's trying to go legit now. He served some time in jail and all of that, but he's trying to go legit. He said he's buried. I think he said something like 18 family members or something like that. Grizel Blanco she perfected the drive-by, like the Martin drive-by of the drug cartel. Like that was her calling card when she was going to assassinate somebody. It was on they would do their drive-bys on the back of motorcycles or like mopeds or whatever. Like Google it, y'all. Google her anyway. And I want to say Lifetime. I remember seeing the previews for a movie about her, but I don't remember the movie actually coming out. I have to go back and look because I wanted to see it when it came out. Anyway. So we meet Michael, and then we meet Michael's wife. No, maybe it's his wife, girlfriend. They're together. Marie is Cuban. Her family was in the cartel. She said that she, as a child, remembers the FBI running up on her family, knocking her mom down, zip tying her, hands behind her back, her father being arrested. She said that was the last time she saw her parents for a very long time. She said she was used to her dad being gone and going in and out of jail, but that was the first time her mom left. And she said that, that was just a very hard thing for her. She said that it sounds like maybe her family is they're out of jail and they're kind of gone legit now because they've cut her off because they don't like the fact that she's dating Grizel Blanco's son. They don't like the fact that she's chosen that lifestyle. But they're legit. I think maybe it sounds to me like they just don't even like the fact that she's associating herself with him. Maybe they're not 100% sure that he's legit or just the whole reputation of Grizel Blanco. Like, I don't know. But that's their story, and they have a child together. I do think they're married, though. If not, they've been together long enough that they have a child. It's a toddler, so that's a couple of years, So then we meet Kat. She's a tattoo artist. Kat, father was killed when she was 4. He was shot 9 times at a party. Come to find out, her mom was supposed to be at that same party. She said she remembers her mother being killed. Kat is a badass tattoo artist. She has her own shop. She said she wants to be a boss, like a legit boss. She said that she has a son. Her son's father, she said she's always had a bad habit of liking bad boys, and her son's father is in jail. And in this episode, we see that he got out of jail, and her dealing with that. She said, people say all the right things when they in jail. They say all the things they supposed to say and come off the way they supposed to come off when they in jail. She said, but now it's just a matter of me saying if he really means that he's gonna go legit and do the right thing. I gotta wait and see. her mom helps her raise her son, and she looks like she's a pretty good mom. We haven't seen a whole lot at this point to really tell us one way or the other whether she's a good, bad, or indifferent, but that's her storyline, right? Then we meet oh, see, I had to write their name, Stephanie. Now Stephanie is an artist. She signed to Young Money. That's a whole nother conversation about Young Money. But she said again, her story is pretty much the same. Growing up, her parents were, very much in the drug situation. She said we had it all. We were rich. We lived a very nice lifestyle. Everything was cool. She said then my dad, I want to say her dad went to jail, and she said, and we lost it all. Like, we went from rich to poor overnight. And see, that's the thing about that drug money. People don't do no whole lot of saving for a lot of reasons. I mean, one, you just got money and you spending it. Two, you can't really save it. Like, you can't put it in the bank. You can't buy stocks. You can't open up a mutual fund, because then it's all traced back, and the government gonna be like, where you get all this money from? So it's hard to save money. And then when you get arrested, lawyers ain't cheap. So all that money you thought you had, it gets depleted very quickly when it's time to go to jail. I've had family members, who in drugs, and they thought they had saved themselves a nice little piece of change. They get arrested. They tell us, go to this place. That's where the money is. Take care of my lawyer. And after a year, the money's gone, and they like, well, what happened? Like, motherfucker, your lawyers, what happened? The fuck? This is expensive. So anyway, but she said that, so that's her story. She said that she's been dealing with a lot of backlash because she's, been wanting to be a singer her whole life. But, a lot of people be hating on her. A lot of people in the area, in the industry, people she knew, know around. This takes place in Miami. This is all in Miami. She said a lot of people around Miami, act like she just slept her way to the top. She was like, I ain't even at the top yet. Now, she didn't say she ain't sleep with nobody. She just said she wasn't at the top yet. But, so she said, she's dealing with a lot of haters and stuff like that from people who are looking at her like, she out here just, sleeping around to get on Young Money. We're going to leave that there right there. Now, Michael and Stephanie, the first couple we talked about, Michael has started a clothing line called Pure Blanco. And it's basically trading off of his mother's name. A lot of the merchandise has his mom's image on it. A lot of like sayings like bad bitch and that kind of stuff. And he said that, and it's mostly been an online business. People who are into that whole like nostalgia, into that whole culture. The people who will buy like a Scarface shirt will probably buy Giselle Blanca shirt or something like that. I'd probably buy a Giselle Blanca shirt, to be honest with you. I like her. I mean, she was a murderer and stuff, but anyway. So he said, but they're trying to actually expand the brand into just more than just t-shirts and that type of thing, and actually make it a full-fledged clothing line. And they're actually putting a lot of their money into it to make it work. So they're having a fashion show. They've got some investors coming. And so they're actually setting up, Kat and, the other one, Stephanie, are best friends. So that's how they're all linked together. They all know each other. So they're actually, like I said, Stephanie and Michael are setting up this fashion show where they want to, bring some people in or what have you. So they decide they want to have some brand ambassadors. Like they had, of course, Kat and Stephanie are walking in the fashion show, but Kat and Stephanie. Who's the first young lady? Y'all, that's going to take me a minute to get these names. Marie, sorry. So Marie has reached out to another young lady who is like her going to be another brand ambassador. She has a very big social media presence. She's got a lot of followers on IG. And of course, that has a lot, of course, that's going to get people to really be open to what you're saying, because if you got a lot of followers on IG, that's how people get these Fashion Nova ads and these. Okay, why my electricity just blinked out? Y'all saw that, right? Okay. Like, I don't know. I don't think it's, is it raining? Is it thundering outside? Like, it literally just blacked out. Anyway, all right, we're just going to keep it moving. We here now. Anyway, So her name is Nicole. She's got a twin brother, Michael. So we got two Michaels on the show. That's going to get a little confusing for me. But Nicole and Michael are twins, and they do have ties to the cartel. Now, Nicole's thing is, look, I don't know a whole lot about my family business. I don't ask no questions. That's what they do. Yes, I've lived a certain lifestyle. I've just enjoyed the lifestyle. I don't ask no questions. And that's probably code for they still in the business and I can't put their business out there, but whatever. So the other thing about Miss Nicole is plastic, and she cool with it. She was like, look, as a kid I was bullied a lot, I was talked about a lot, I was called ugly, I was called this, I was called that. So, yep, as soon as I had an opportunity, I fixed everything that I thought was wrong with me. She said, people keep saying you're going to look plastic. And she was like, I'm okay with that. That's what I want to be. I want to look plastic. I want to look fake. Now, I don't know why anybody would want to look fake, but she does. You can tell she's got her breasts done. She's got her butt done. She's got her lips done. You can tell she's had facial reconstruction. Like, you could tell she's had and she said it. I mean, she's admitted, she said I've had a lot of surgeries to look like this. Her brother Michael is like, look, I think she looks fine the way she is. Obviously, we're twins. Like, I think I look fine. So I thought she looked fine. Now, Michael said he's a 9-to-5. He's a businessman. That's what he does. Nicole is more of a party girl, and this is how we meet her. We meet her. She's a bottle girl at the club, right? Well, come to find out, this is where the conflict is, right? Here's that formula for a reality show. Nicole and Stephanie, the one that signed to Young Money, they know each other. They don't like each other. They have sort of a little past. They weren't friends or enemies. They just ran in the same circles and weren't real friendly with each other. So as they're talking, of course, they're telling their little cartel story or whatever. And Nicole is being very standoffish about telling her story. She's like, well, I don't really know the story with my parents. I don't really know what they, I just know that, she said, and then she kind of threw a little shade. She was like, well, my family, they were really smart about it. I mean, they didn't go to jail and they didn't get killed. Now, mind you sitting there with 3 other women whose family members either all went to jail or were killed or a combination. And you were like, well, my family was smart. They ain't get caught up. So basically what you're saying is my family was dumb. Now, Stephanie was like, that's bullshit. She said, because everybody who went into this lifestyle, they ended up one or two ways. Either they ended up dead. She said, the only way out the cartel is dead or in jail. She was like, so you not going to tell me that your family made all this money and they walked away, moved to New York, and lived happily ever after. She was like, something ain't right about her story, and I'm going to figure out what the fuck it is. So, of course, y'all know what happens. She goes digging. Really, the producers told her, but she goes digging and she finds an old picture from 2 years ago on Instagram where old girl is talking about she got pulled over by the police and almost got a ticket until she showed them this, which is like a badge, a NYPD badge, and then underneath it says family member. Well, y'all know it don't take a rocket scientist to figure out. Y'all know people who are in the lifestyle, who grew up in a crime family or whatever, the worst thing you could be is associated or affiliated with the police. And so now, Stephanie is thinking, oh, is that how your family got out? Because they were informants? Is that how they got out? Because they were working with the police? She was like, now, we used to the police being, on the take. Like, our family paid off the police. We ain't had no problem with that. But you seem like it's something different going on. Oh, that's how your family got out of it. So, okay, here we go. She was like, I'm going to confront her because, I can't let that slide. I was like, oh, Lord, here we go. The other side, we see an interview with Michael on the radio promoting his clothing brand or whatever. In the radio, the DJ actually asked him some really good questions. Basically, like, look, your mom was a bad person. Like, she killed a lot of people. She, made a lot of money off of drugs. Like, isn't your clothing line sort of glorifying how she was living, glorifying that lifestyle? And Michael was like, look, I mean, at first he was sort of hemming and hawing, and then he was sort of like, well, look, I'm trying to go legit. Like, yes, he said, yes, I'm using my mom's name and using my mom's image to make money. He said, but I'm trying to go legit. You know, like, I'm doing it legally. Like, I'm not out here selling drugs anymore. I'm not out here killing people. I'm not out here doing that. And so ain't that the fucking American way? That, you know, you find a gimmick, you find something to make money off of, and that's how you make your money. Like, isn't that the American way? So I was like, you better tell him, Michael, you better stand in your shit. Because again, it is what it is. He's right. That is the American way. Because if you weren't doing it, somebody else would pull a picture of your mama off the internet, put it on a t-shirt, start up a website, and sell them bitches. Like, that's what people do. I ain't saying that it's good or bad, but you know what? You don't have to buy it. You don't have to buy it. Anyway, so let's get to the fashion show. So the fashion show looked nice, you know, everybody walking the runway. Michael and I know I'm going to keep getting this girl name. I was great calling Nicole. Michael and Marie, you know, they were sitting up front, you know, and the fashions were going by. And at first I thought they actually had some nice pieces. They really did. Not everything that I would necessarily wear, but my body ain't for everything to wear. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't wear everything. But they had some pretty nice pieces when you think of that Miami lifestyle and sort of what's on trend right now. I'm no fashionista, but for me, it looked pretty decent. I'm not saying it was couture. I ain't saying all of that, but it looked pretty decent. So we see Nicole talking to her brother and her best friend, basically talking about, you know, they were questioning me and, you know, I didn't have a hard life with the cartel and all of that, but I was bullied. You know, I did have a hard life. I had other struggles. Girl, whatever, bye. Anyway, so Stephanie, she waits till after the fashion show is over, but they're they're at the little after party, whatever, and Stephanie decides to confront Nicole. And Stephanie is like, look, you know, you sitting here bragging about the cartel this and the cartel that, but I found this on Instagram. You know, you, with your family member, you bragging about NYPD family. So they get into an argument. And to Nicole's credit, Nicole was like, so what? Like, what's the big deal? Like, so what? Like, it is what it is. And they get to arguing, y'all know the reality show formula. They get to arguing and cussing and throwing shit back and forth, and, you know, security breaking it up and all of that. They didn't actually get into a fight. They were doing more screaming back and forth. And, you know, Marie was like, look, I don't need Michael around this. Michael is still on probation. He don't need to be around this. So, you know, they put them out of the party, and, you know, so y'all know that's going to be the conflict for the season. Like, that's going to be one of the whole big storylines for the season. And that's pretty much the first episode. That's pretty much where it ended. I'm going to try to hang with it. It wasn't horrible. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a horrible. It is what it is. It's a reality show. It had the gimmick with this one is the whole cartel. They're going to do the same thing Mob Wives did. They're going to skirt the law. They're not going to really tell a whole lot of they ain't going to get nobody in trouble legally. They're going to tell as much as they can and sort of give you that glimpse into, you know, what their life was like growing up in the cartel. And the reality is, I like the fact that they're not making it seem like these people had these glorious lives. Like, they're being real about the fact that, look, once they got arrested, the money was gone. You know, Tat was saying how when her father was assassinated, the people thought that he left a whole lot of money, and they tried to kidnap her mom and tried to kidnap her and kill them to get the money. And she was like, it wasn't. And she didn't say it wasn't no money. She just said that people thought her father left a lot of money. That she said it wasn't no money. But it probably wasn't. And even if it was a little bit that didn't last a long time. You know what I'm saying? Her father probably wasn't sitting on millions and millions of dollars. Like, come on. Anyway, let me know what y'all think. Drop it in the comments, please.